That's all good. Yeah.
He doesn't come off.
The style of this bird hunt is so much different than anything else a bird hunter is going to find. Two pigeons.
All the way from Alabama to shoot 2 pigeons.
Ooh, pretty high, pretty high. Somebody's going to shoot at him.
Pretty bird. Yeah, first band-tailed pigeon.
Looks like it's starting again.
The pellets are falling down through the trees.
We chose to put him on a branch hanging on the wall with a pine bough behind it to put him in a natural state.
We started off about 7:30 in the morning. It took about 45 minutes to get here. We were a little bit late. The other part of the group had arrived already and they were all out in the trees, and there were a few birds flying. I think maybe they had shot at a couple before we got here, and it was a matter of getting our guns and working our way up the trail. We're going to walk about 75 yards up into the trees here and set up.
It all opens up once you get through this scrub stone. I'll show you the kind of lay of the land where the mineral springs are.
Well, it didn't take very long, and we were part of a group of what looked like it must have been close to 30 people coming from around the Willamette Valley, and then I had our group from people from all over the country. So Mac, Brian's come all the way from Alabama. He hasn't hunted these birds in Oregon before. Neither have I. I mean, this is the first time. But make sure you tell him what the limit is here, so he doesn't go over. I gave him a few shells.
Yeah, it'll take a few shells. The limit is 2. The band-tailed pigeon is being well managed, as other birds have been overhunted. They're managing the hunting of the band-tailed pigeon. When I was in my youth, limit was 8, went to 5, now it's 2. But you should get plenty of shooting to get your 2.
So 2 pigeons.
2 pigeons.
All the way from Alabama to shoot 2 pigeons.
Worth every bit of it. So if you're thinking you're in the prime spot for where they're going to be going to the mineral springs, you probably aren't, because the birds aren't going to go where you are. They are wild birds, and you will find they will be hard to hunt. But there'll be lots of them. There's like a nice little natural corridor open between the trees that circles all the way around the springs.
Well,
Right here?
there were a few hunters that beat us to this spot, and looks like they're warming up their barrels without any birds dropping. So that'll leave a few more for us.
You can hunt anywhere. If you stay down here where these 2 guys are, you're going to get long shots where you can see birds coming. You're going to be shooting higher. If you go further up the hill, you're going to be taking quick shots as they dart between the trees, and you can't get too comfortable in your chair if you have one with you. The mineral springs that you'll see right over here, from the turn of the last century, 1900, and through those years, that why hunters came here, because of the natural minerals in those waters.
A railroad track, it dropped way down. Because they'll come right to a line, you know. And you put all them does it there on the.
They do love a power
on
line.
the line. Yeah. So we put in there's one field we had, we planted all the millet
15th
and the sunflowers.
to the 23rd.
And we put 2 telephone poles, ran a line up there, you know, like the duck decoy led weights.
Makes
You just
perfect
throw
sense.
them over the line and pull them until they're kind of sitting on the line like that, and just leave the weights sitting there on the ground. So when you get finished, you just pick them up and you.
Okay, take us up the hill, Mac. I brought the boys from the south. Got one from Georgia, and one from Alabama, and one from North Carolina. They're going to show us how it's done, I think. The style of this bird hunt is so much different than anything else a bird hunter is going to find in our state anyway. This is kind of how they do it in the South, where it's a social event. And that's why I wanted to have Brian here. That's why I wanted to have Mike Faw. That's why I wanted to bring Josh Willis, because they've grown up doing this kind of thing. And it would be like old home week for them, except on the other side of the country.
Everybody's just hanging out, and it doesn't matter. A bird flies, everybody shoots at it.
Oh, here we go, pigeon.
Who's claiming it?
Oh, pretty high, pretty high. Somebody's gonna shoot at him though.
That's pretty bird. Yeah. First band-tailed pigeon.
I haven't fired a shot yet. Too high. There was some organization to it, but it was all just kind of find a place under a tree, and if you're wearing an orange vest, try and tuck in a little closer, and then watch the sky, because these birds are going to be coming in. We're hunting band-tailed pigeons. We're on the west side of Oregon, between the Cascades and the Coast Range, and this is classic band-tailed pigeon habitat. I knew I would do this someday. I just didn't know when. And so this is my first time. Mac Jenks invited us to come out early this spring. Said we had to be here opening day. It was part of his family's tradition. Pulled in, and Mac's eyes are glowing. He says, this is classic band-tailed weather. This is what they live for. So here we are, it's middle of September. We got the berries ripe, the rose hips are on the bushes, the apples are in the trees.
I've never hunted pigeon in Oregon before. I've hunted doves in South Carolina, and we'll shoot the occasional pigeon, but and hunted rock pigeons in Africa, but never in Oregon. I came all the way from Alabama to shoot my 2 pigeons.
Kind of stay over the edge, because if they see you, they'll deflect.
They see him sitting right there.
Well, they see these
The orange.
The orange is
Yeah.
what's happening. Yeah, it seems like every bird that's come in is kind of quarterback that way. So it's almost as if they're seeing the guys in the orange. It's about 8 birds now that have done the same thing in a row.
In the South, as Brian pointed out, they don't call this bird hunting. They would call this a pigeon shoot. And the dog really doesn't become important until the trigger has been pulled. Oh, pretty high, pretty high. Somebody's gonna shoot at him though.
So I think we would do a little better if we stood more on the edge of the woods where they don't see us. You know, they see you when they fly over there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they're watching down there, they're watching us. We got a better look at them when they're out in the open here, but
Yeah, but we're not bird watching.
no, that's right.
They're shooting.
Good job, Brian. Nice shoot. I've got it marked. Another one landed in a tree over there, wounded. So I've got it marked. You can walk in on it.
Sat down in the tree right behind you guys in the orange.
I'm out of bullets now.
Go to your right a little. As the morning wore on, it was just like Max said. The birds are coming for this mineral springs. They want to be here. They want to get their beaks wet.
He's a pretty bird. Yeah, first band-tailed pigeon.
Your trip's halfway complete now. One down, one to go.
Didn't I tell you that every form of wildlife known to man, including Sasquatch, goes to those mineral springs?
You got Sasquatch around here?
No, did you see that bird
I
just
did.
land?
I did.
They would never land in the midst of all these.
I know. These
What
guys
you
are
do-
shooting at everything.
Hey, what you need to do when you see them coming
But
like
they're
that
getting a few.
is y'all need to get in the edge and wait for them to come in, then step out and shoot. They're deflect. They're seeing us. I mean, they're not stupid.
Max says that there's a natural flight corridor comes right through these trees because the mineral springs are right here. And so he says all morning that the birds are going to be coming through here. And it's just up to us to try to pull in tighter to the bushes, I guess, and hope that the birds will come a little lower. There were a couple of trees that they really wanted to be in, but our group sure wasn't going to let them land. The guys were shooting at the birds way up there, way up in the sky. And so finally, if I was going to get any shooting, I had to start shooting too. We began to spread out and then just get the shots as we could take them. I haven't fired a shot yet. I've got 22 rounds though, 20 for shooting and 2 for my birds. Too high, too high. I put my long range loads in. These birds are kind of high. Put this pigeon on my hat because these pigeons won't crap on their buddies.
Got a feeling he put that bird on his hat so his pigeons don't crap on him.
That's a dove call, morning dove.
All the dew is off the grass now, so they're going to be getting thirsty. I came over here to bring you some good luck.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I won't have to worry about the pigeons shooting at me when they fly by.
Yeah, they won't crap on you. Have you got any shooting yet?
I've not pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah. I'm saving my ammo for the 10 o'clock flight, which is
We're
due
about 5 minutes away.
They were due in about 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay, as you can see, it's almost 10 o'clock. They said the birds would be flying in, so I'm waiting. They should be just clouds of them coming through any minute.
Looks like it's starting again. The pellets are falling down through the trees. It's 10 o'clock.
There's another one.
Looks like it's starting again. Those pellets are falling down through the trees. Nice shot.
Thank you.
I see you're shooting a side-by-side too, just like me.
Yeah, it's an old Stephen Grant from the 1880s.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a fun gun.
Yeah, so you got a bird, you got knocked one down just now?
Yeah, he's in the bag.
Can we see him?
Well, sure. I pretty much got him.
Yeah, okay. Yes, you did. Pretty much got him.
There's 2 sitting in that tree right there.
He's right on the tip of the tree. The pigeon's staring at the mineral spring and it wants to get in, but it's terrified. You can see it coming.
Oh yeah,
You
no
see it?
kidding. Here it
Super
comes
high.
one, guys. This is different than any other bird hunt I've been on. I mean, it's most like dove hunting, but we're here in the timber. We're right on the side of this hill, and they could come from any direction. The dog isn't much of an advantage until you've actually hit one, and you have to try and find it, and then the dog is very important. Whole bunch now coming over.
Better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, nice. Good work.
Oh,
Good
thanks.
shooting again. Oop, there's a lot more right there. Dropping lower. They're hooking around. It's real easy to let your guard down and start talking and you're having fun, and then all of a sudden you're tucked in at the edge of the trees, and then there's birds overhead. You see them flashing through, and there's 1, there's 2, there's 10, and they're right over you and they're veering off, and you're hoping one is going to make a mistake and float in a little bit low.
Too high. Let them come back around.
People are saying pigeons, and they're thinking we're hunting these pigeons walking around in the park. But no, this is the band-tailed pigeon. It is a Northwest native. It's not a feral European import. These birds belong here. These are part of this habitat. They're part of a hunting culture and tradition that goes back to when this country was settled.
Don't shoot, guys. Don't shoot, guys.
They're lower now. 2 more, 3 more, 4 more.
Yeah, I think over this open area, they're just flying too high. It's hard to make a connection.
Coming right for me, somebody shot at on turn.
It's like a war zone. Harley's got his work for himself, cutting that one out of the brush.
There's Sky.
I know.
Yeah, these are the ones I told you I'd seen. Oh, got one coming. Whoosh. That's awesome, man. Good shooting.
2 birds and 2 shots.
We met people here from all around the Willamette Valley, people that for some it was their first bird hunt. For most of them, it was the first time hunting for band-tailed pigeons. Good shooting, RC.
Thank you very much.
You limited out in 2 shots.
Better lucky than good.
I guess so.
Beautiful bird.
Let me take a look at that. Oh yeah. Well, good shooting. That's pretty impressive. How much did you shoot today? You must have
6 or 8 shells.
Okay, and then you got the last 2 that flew over. Yeah, pretty good. You were warming up.
Yeah.
You were warming up. Bird, 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 bird. Here it comes. There you go. Thank you. And this was your dog that made the retrieve right here, yeah.
His first band tail.
That is awesome. So it's the first band tail for a lot of us out here.
I think so.
What is this dog's name?
CJ.
CJ. I used up most of my ammo on this hunt.
Let's get a picture with Gary before we leave.
And I would do it all again.
Oh, look at CJ.
Well, I guess that calls the limit. I shot that with my daughter's shotgun. That's where they get the name, the band tail right there. I think we might have one for the taxidermist here. We'll take it to him and see what he thinks.
I think the best part of taxidermy for myself is preserving the memories. This bird is not looking good. Too much damage in there.
I'm bringing one of these birds back. My friend Tim McClagan wanted to come on this trip and he couldn't be here, so I'm going to bring him a band-tailed pigeon and see what he can do with it.
I think the best part of taxidermy for myself is preserving the memories and hearing the stories, especially when the kids bring in their first buck and we get to mount it for them. And the look on their face when they come pick it up is priceless. But preserving the memory, it's not just a head on the wall, it's all about why that head's on the wall and how it got there. My name's Tim McClagan. I'm the owner of McClagan's Taxidermy. This is a lifelong passion of mine that has turned into a real good business, and I really enjoy what I'm doing here. I got started years ago and I shot a wood duck and we took it to a guy to have mounted for my father, and when I walked into his house, I was pretty much hooked. Taxidermy is a learning process from day one, and I've been doing birds for over 30 years and I still learn. There's taxidermists everywhere. There's good ones and there's bad ones, and that's real important. Before you go on your hunt, you should really go look at everybody's work. Don't worry about price and how long it's going to take. Really look at the end product, because ultimately that's what you're going to have in your trophy room to remember the memory, and that's the whole idea behind having your specimen mounted. This time of year in the fall, we're quite busy with the boiling pot, doing a lot of European mounts. We do antler mounts, European mounts, shoulder mounts. There's 3 of us working here, and we're working full time. We stay full time around the clock all year. This time of year, we're open 7 days a week. We've got to get the work in during the season. This is another service we provide. We give out gloves for your deer and elk hides. We do this every year. We try to go outside of the box on some of the mounts if they want, or we can really recreate the exact moment the guy took the animal or in its natural habitat. We try to do the best we can with every piece. Some stuff we get in is I've never done before, so I'll do a lot of research. We try to recreate as much detail as we can. And there again, we try to stay away from just out of the box, taking a mannequin out of the box and putting it together. Even on a standard shoulder mount, I do a lot of sculpting in the eye work and muscle detail. We're working on a band-tailed pigeon that Gary Lewis brought me from over in the valley. They're real delicate birds to do. We're shooting for a flying mount here with this bird. Some of these delicate birds, the condition after you get him skinned out will dictate what kind of position you can end up with. And now he's all skinned, there's no more meat left in there. This bird taxidermy is what I really started out with over 30 years ago. This bird is not looking good. Too much damage in there. I'm gonna go ahead and wash it and see, because I still may be able to pull off a standing mount where this one will be tucked down and all that will be hidden. This one will be tucked like that. And that's what I said earlier, sometimes how the bird skins is what dictates the position you can get out of them. We perch him up on a branch, say on the wall like that, and put that bad side against the wall and everything will be tucked away. And that will give us this good side. Some mounts have a really good side and a bad side. It doesn't look like much now. And there's the start of our bird body. I just need to rasp in the detail a little bit. Pretty birds. We're drying and it's starting to look like a bird now. A band-tailed pigeon is hard to get, so you have to be creative in the way to preserve it and in the position you put it in. That was a band-tailed pigeon. We chose to put him on a branch hanging on the wall with a pine bough behind it to put him in a natural state.
I'm imagining that eating one of these pigeons could be a lot like eating dove that we've had quite a bit of. It's a food source that fed kings and presidents and governors and the lowliest of the population, depending on the sport and the needs and necessities of the time.